Filming with natural light seems like a great idea until this happens. Right, now that we've sorted that issue out, hello and welcome to today's video. If you are new around here, my name is Lauren, hello. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below if you'd like to join the family, and I'm just going to get on with today's video because it could be a bit of a long one. So today's video is the long awaited mental health life update kind of thing. I'm just going to be talking at the camera really. This is kind of a part 2 to a series that I've started, so if you haven't seen part 1 and you'd like to, I will leave it linked above in the iCards, just because for people that watched the first part, I don't want to be repeating myself too much. This is kind of like a reaction to that, if that makes sense. So it's like I watched that video again, any improvements or any changes I'm just gonna like update in this story. This video is kind of for my benefit too, so I can look back in the future and see like where I'm at now compared to a few months ago. I'm planning to do one of these every like 3 months. This was meant to be in June and it's now August, but things happened, life got in the way. This, to be fair, comes at a better time because 3 months from now is September, October, November, so I would have been living in my new flat hopefully for 2 months, so that's like a good place to begin. I'm just going to start with where we left off last time. I've got a few notes on my phone, so if I keep looking at my phone that is why, but I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try and like absorb the information and then pass it on to you guys. My knee in the corner, you can't see my bruises. But where we left off was a day before a meeting with my psychiatrist, which was the meeting where I was going to determine what the next step was, because I'd just been offered mirtazapine, which is an antidepressant which helps with sleep, it helps with anxiety and depression. So I'd just been prescribed that but felt like I couldn't take it, and I'd had a appointment scheduled with my psychiatrist the next day, and I remember saying that the time in the video was awful because I should have waited to see what the psychiatrist said before filming the video. But I'm Lauren, and we don't do things in the correct order in any aspect of life. I had that meeting with my psychiatrist. He gave me the option of giving psychotherapy a go without the meds. He said it was unlikely that I'd get to where I wanted to be without the meds, but if I was willing to give it a go without the meds, then that's better than nothing kind of thing. He also gave me like some questionnaires and like forms to fill out about adult autism. I'm not going to go too much into that because I, for one, do not believe that I have autism. I understand everyone's on a spectrum of some sort, but personally, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, every time I mentioned about fear of the food, he'd be like, sounds like autism, and I'd be like, does it though? Everyone around me was like, no, we know that you're not autistic, Loz. But like, I don't know, it was just like such a shock when he said that. So anyway, I did start psychotherapy with a new therapist. I've been doing that since I think it was March now. I really like him. I haven't had a therapist this good ever, to be honest, and he doesn't have a one-size-fits-all approach to therapy, which is really important. Just because a textbook says that CBT will be good for phobia or exposure therapy will be good for phobia doesn't mean that it will, because everyone's so different, and it just annoys me when therapists are like, well, this will work for everyone else, why doesn't it work for you? I have noticed a lot of improvements, but I've also noticed a lot of things getting worse, but things that I didn't struggle with in the first place. So I don't know if it's just like a trust the process thing. I don't know if I'm just uncovering different issues or what not along the way, but I do think I have got a lot better. Well, I know that I have, like looking back to like videos from early this year, like I can tell I just wasn't myself at all back then, and I feel like I'm slowly like becoming Loz again, or even like a new Loz. New and improved Loz, what can we say? What I was going to say, I had an important point then. What I was getting at was that we haven't put a proper label on what kind of therapy it is. We haven't said it's like systematic desensitization, we haven't said it's CBT, DBT, whatever. We're kind of exploring each avenue rather than just being like, right, let's try this. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't dread the sessions, but obviously therapy is not a walk in the park. Well, saying that, I find a walk in the park challenging on most days. That probably wasn't the right metaphor for Lauren to use, but why did I say that in the third person? I know that he knows what he's talking about, like that's very clear, and we do have a really good foundation. Like, he's quite sarcastic like me. We have a bit of banter rather than just being so clinical. So they've been weekly Zoom sessions. They have moved to fortnightly now, which I am slowly getting used to, just because I feel like when it's a 2-week gap between sessions I can get a bit lost with the homeworks, which I'll go on to in a second. But I guess it is also nice to have a break between sessions. It kind of feels like a week off, I guess, even though it's not really a week off because the homeworks that have been set is like all day every day, and I am going to go on to homeworks next, just because whenever I mention homework to people they're like, what do you mean homework, like you're not in school anymore. It's basically just everyday stuff for normal people. It's stuff like meet up with friends, watch a movie with sick in, what else? I've got a list, but I'm trying to put them in like a logical order. Eat in restaurants, stop googling and asking for reassurance. I used to ask for reassurance every single time I ate anything. Like I'd go into the living room and be like, Mum, can you like taste this first, or can you smell this, or like does this look right to you, with everything I ate. And then I'd eat the food and then ask for more reassurance, which would then make me worry even more. And then I'd message Stephen and be like, oh, I'm a bit worried about something I ate. And it was like, what's the point in asking for reassurance once if you're just going to go and ask about 4 other people afterwards? It obviously wasn't working very well. And with googling, I think everyone is guilty of it. Like you get a symptom of something and you google and you get told you've got 2 weeks left to live, which is obviously not often the case in many situations. But I would be googling everything. I'd be googling if I felt the slightest bit dizzy, being like, how dizzy do you have to be to actually be sick? I get a headache and be like, how common is it that you can be sick from like headaches? I'd be googling absolutely everything. I'd be googling how long a sandwich can be on a plate for. I'd be googling if use by dates had ever been done incorrectly by supermarkets. Googling like hygiene things as well. Like I didn't really order from many takeaway places apart from Domino's and Just Wings in Crosby, but I didn't really order from them anymore because I saw things on TikTok that was like, oh yeah, Domino's workers aren't as hygienic as you think. And then I was like, well, there's that off the list. But it'd be on the Domino's website, like searching through, just wanting to know how hygienic things were, how things were cooked. And that's something I never really struggled with until this year. I'd worry about use by dates and things being cooked, but I'd never think, what if the person that packaged that ham for Tesco didn't wash their hands? Like I'd be thinking about like the factories that chocolate was made in, being like, oh my god, what if it was like dirty and no one knew? It was so bad. I'd go to a restaurant and I'd be like, I really want to like inspect the kitchen, which obviously isn't normal. I can't go to like bloody, I don't know, Nando's and be like, can I just go and have a little look around the kitchen to make sure that your dishes are being washed properly, kind of thing. Yeah, that's something that I've definitely struggled with. Probably the most influential homework I was given was my fear food task. I was set the task of eating one of my fear foods every single day, and if you don't know what a fear food is, it's basically a concept that emetophobes have. Also people with eating disorders have them, but I'm not speaking for them, I'm just speaking for emetophobia. If you've had a food that you've been sick from, made you feel nauseous, even someone else has ate it and felt nauseous, like you avoid that food, just strip it from your diet completely. And at the start of the year, everything was a fear food. Like I have always had a picky diet, but this year it just got out of control. Every time I ate, I'd be like, I've poisoned myself. I'd be like, that food wasn't clean enough, that food wasn't like cooked enough. Obviously that's really irrational because food is not the enemy, food is safe, food is fuel, we need it. So I was set the task of eating a fear food every single day, which I had a huge variety of foods to pick from because I was scared of bloody everything. So I started off with snacks. On the therapy call where I got the homework, my therapist was like, okay, go and grab a fear food and eat it. So I had an apple on that Zoom call. What other things did I have? I've gone brain dead, but I made it into a series on TikTok on my account called Search for Sunshine, which I'll go into a bit more later. And it had such a good reception. It also inspired some other people to try their fear foods, which was honestly like the best thing ever. It made me so happy. But I went from fear snacks to fear meals, so it's not necessarily foods you don't like. Like my favourite meal used to be spag bol, and for some reason this year something just clicked where it was like, mince is not safe, so I had to bring that back into my diet. I still don't trust it, but it's just obviously the process of eating it a few times and getting a bit more confident each time I eat it. It's been a slow process, but I have definitely seen a bit of improvement with my diet. I was genuinely circulating from like 2 meals, so I'd have like pasta and cheese one night, then the next night I'd have toast, then the next night I'd have pasta and cheese again, and it just was not healthy. I saw such a decline in my physical health. I still am. With emetophobia, seeing the decline in your physical health is also absolutely terrifying, but it's a vicious cycle because it's like I can't do anything about it because I'm too scared to eat these like proper foods to make myself feel better. But since the last video there has been a lot of positive improvements too, so I'm going to touch on them. The main thing is probably sleep. I was getting to sleep at like 4 AM the earliest to like 8 AM every single night when I last did a video like this, because in my head it wasn't safe to sleep until after 4 AM. I'm not getting to sleep till like 2-3 AM, but that's still an improvement that I'm proud of. I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm getting to sleep faster as well. Say that the last 2 nights I haven't slept, but that's another story. I'm now also a lot better at controlling panic. Not so much anxiety, just because I'm always having anxiety attacks, but they're a lot more bearable than full-blown panic attacks. I was having panic attacks all the time after food, after trying to leave the house, and where is it? I've lost it. My last panic attack was on the 12th of April, which was 3 months ago. ago and 24 days, which is crazy considering they were like daily. I'm at the point where it's like I can do more things because I know that I can stop myself going to full-blown panic, but I'm doing these things and I still can't enjoy it because I am in my head, I am stuck with all these thoughts. But it is a process, very long and tiring process, even boring at times, because I'm doing the same things over and over and over in my brain every day. I am still very much in the mindset of why can't I just be like other 20-year-olds, and why can't I go on holidays with friends, and why can't I just do spontaneous nights out and stuff, because it takes so much for me to do the bare minimum and it's really tiring and I feel like I'm just wasting away my youth, to be honest. I've got an example on my phone of a night that I spent with Stephen. This was in my house. It was in a vlog a little while ago, and we were dancing to Taylor Swift Reputation tour in my living room, and I just wanted to like show the behind the scenes of like how I was feeling in that moment. Before Stephen even got there, I had a meltdown because I was too anxious to socialise with my best friend, who was not going to judge me if I cry or have a panic attack. I also hadn't eaten that day because I was too anxious. I did plan to get food with Stephen when he got there, but when he got there I was too anxious and worked up and didn't feel like I could eat in front of him. So moving on to that, I was really paranoid about being lightheaded. We were dancing around the living room like crazy, but in my head the whole time I was like, what if I pass out, what if I get dizzy, what if I make myself sick from doing this? And I also, in the same vlog, had bought some things to decorate the garden with. I bought new cups, new straws, and I cleaned them about 7 times before Stephen got there. They'd never been used before because they were brand new. I cleaned them and cleaned them and cleaned them, and they just didn't feel clean, so I still have not used them. Stephen used them, he's been fine. My family have used them, they've also been fine, but I have not drank out of them cups or straws. I just want to be able to spend a night with my friend and just be present and just enjoy it and not be stuck in my head thinking about all them stupid things, because I know they're stupid, but it's just like drilled into me that like I constantly have to be on guard and on edge. Like I can't just like let go and relax. But I am getting a bit more confident in leaving the house. Like I leave the house by myself now. I'll just go for walks to the beach. That's my new little safe place, because one of my homeworks was to find new safe places, or not necessarily find new safe places, just believe that like everywhere is equally as safe. Well, obviously like a dark alleyway is not as safe as like my bedroom, but you know what I mean, you know what I'm getting at. I also feel like I am my own safe person. I spoke last time about a specific person that was in my life that I did lose. It kind of like sent me into turmoil because they were the person that I felt comfortable around, like they could calm me down so easily, and I did lose them and I was like, what the hell do I do now? But I am officially my own safe person. I do not need anyone to specifically calm me down. I am now independent. I am reliant on myself and no one else, and it's just a great feeling. I am happy alone, and that's all we need. Also, I made these notes on my phone before June 21st when everything was meant to open again, but then obviously got pushed back. I have been clubbing twice. They were an experience and a half. First night out was to shit indie disco. I did film a get ready with me for that. I haven't uploaded it. It was an absolute shambles of a video and I haven't finished editing it, but I might do because I got enough footage for it to be like a video. So I'll just work my magic with that and see what happens. There's a lot of reasons I was anxious that night, not just because of emetophobia. There were certain people I was scared to see. It was a scary experience. We haven't been clubbing for like a year and a half, so I didn't drink all night. I was scared to get near people just in case they had like a bug or something, and it was like 30 degrees. Probably one of the worst nights out I've ever bloody been on, but I'm glad that I went. That was the main thing. I didn't back out for being too anxious. I didn't sleep after that, and the next day I was going to Swiftogeddon, which was an absolute dream. I absolutely loved Swiftogeddon. I was stuck in my head for that whole night too, and I did have to step outside to like get my composure back because I hadn't eaten again, I wasn't drinking again, and I felt really lightheaded. I danced a bit too hard to shake it off and was like, okay, I've had it now. I did have a little wobble there. I don't know if any of my friends actually knew. I kind of took myself outside and was on the phone to my mum and I was like, hi, feeling a little bit anxious, but I didn't go home. I stayed. I had a conversation with someone and was like, no, I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna enjoy this night, and I did stay till the absolute end of the night, which was such a milestone for me. Normally I'm used to leaving a bit early and being like, yeah, I gotta go, and I don't really have to go, but mentally I've gotta go. So I'm glad I went on them nights out. I've booked another Swiftogeddon for December, so hopefully I will be better, well, not completely better, but like able to enjoy that a lot more than I enjoyed this one. In terms of future, I am quite excited because I move out in, what date is it? If it's the 4th today, it's exactly a month. Yeah, I move out a month today, which is so excited. Me and Mia booked our moving slots last night, so it feels really, really real now. I'm surprisingly not nervous for moving out this time. Obviously with Bath, I was an absolute wreck. That was a completely different ball game. I'm just glad that I'll have my own kitchen, so I know what's been going on in that kitchen. I know that I'll freak out when it comes to cooking, but that is a bridge we'll cross when we get, what's the saying? That is a bridge we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, that's the one. But the thing I am probably most excited for is my little TikTok account. I created Search for Sunshine in February. It didn't really have an end goal. I just wanted to like share my story. I wanted to be able to give tips and help other people and just meet people in the emetophobia community. I've never had this many followers on anything. I hit 6.5k yesterday, which I didn't think I'd ever reach, to be honest, and it just keeps going up and up. I post vlogs, I post my tips, I post like funny, not that emetophobia is at all funny, but I post like relatable funny videos just because you've just got to laugh sometimes, haven't you? You've got to add humour into some things. I have my little fear food series, I answer questions, so I say go follow Search for Sunshine and join the little community because it's such a little happy place to be. It's so safe. But yeah, I think that might be everything. I feel like this video has been an absolute mess. I am feeling really anxious right now and I don't know why. There's been no trigger, but I'm just sat here and I'm like, oh, struggling a bit to concentrate on this video. If you got this far, thank you so much for watching. I am going to do another one of these in November, December time, which hopefully I'll have even more improvements. If you did enjoy this video and you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, give this a huge thumbs up and give me a hello in the comments. I hope you're all having a lovely day and I shall see you in my next video. I love you all.